What's going on to the AMC stock family? In today's video, we're going to be talking not just about the AMC stock price, but actually some senators and yes, people that are related to the government and what they have to say about this whole financial market. So before we get into that though, we'll talk about some news that Adam Aaron just mentioned on Twitter, and so this is a very new tweet. Here it is. Huge news, Dogecoin fans. We work to accept online crypto payments. Now you can buy AMC digital gift cards. This is going to be up to 200 with Dogecoin and other cryptocurrency, there we go, using a BitPay wallet. And also Adam Aaron does mention that this will be accepted on our website, mobile app, and in theaters. There we go. This is the news. Ready? So huge news, Dogecoin fans, and I'm sure many of you guys are also in cryptocurrencies, not to mention Shiba Inu coin. Now, the huge news, Dogecoin fans, as we work to accept online crypto payments, now you can buy AMC digital gift cards with Dogecoin and other cryptocurrencies using a BitPay wallet, accepted on the website, mobile app, and in theaters. There we go, everyone. The reason why we were here in the first place was not to talk about the price too much, although I would like to mention that AMC is in a very pivotal standpoint right now. The reason why it's pivotal is not because AMC, the fundamentals are bad. No, it has nothing to do with that. In fact, it actually has more to do with just some simple support levels, and also not to mention the drying up of the volume. Okay, volume is decreasing, and this is not a problem though, because this has happened before. We've seen it happen not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5. You guys understand the point I'm trying to make here. And so ultimately, what ends up happening is that on random days, AMC decides to have an increase in the volume. This is not new to us because this has happened before, as I just mentioned. And so I do think that I don't think that in the next few days, AMC is going to have a just parabolic move all the way back to, this was around $51 a share. But what I do think is that AMC will go down just a little bit further. And I know I haven't been making a lot of predictions, and that's simply because that is going out of the interest of the AMC stock family. And again, these videos are to provide value. So if these videos are not valuable, let me know in the comment section what can be done to improve them. Because the whole point of these videos is to help this community. We really don't need any more fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and we don't need any paper hands. So whatever we can do to help, that's going to be phenomenal. And so with that being said, I also want to mention that again, volume is drying up. However, I do think that there will also be a little bit more selling side, but this will only be between now and Friday. I don't think that this will continue later on. In fact, this is why I'm holding AMC for the long term. I'm holding AMC for the long term to surpass all these levels over here, to go above $72 a share. So why would I be worried about some near-term price action? I'm not worried whatsoever, and many of you guys are not worried either. So here's what I'm going to end up guessing. My guess and my predictions for AMC is that we will have a little bit more of a decline, but just to mention, this is not based off of just AMC. This is actually based off the general market, the S&P 500. So obviously we have had a decline, and this is why AMC has also been deciding to go down. It's not just AMC, because AMC is part of these indices. Before we were trying to draw some correlations. However, now it looks like the correlations are starting to drift apart, or at least there's not that much of the correlation that it had, especially in the month of September. Because back in September, we were understanding that the S&P 500 did have a disconnect with ticker symbol AMC. But now it looks like there actually seems to be more of a parallel. When the S&P 500 goes down, so does AMC. And on that note, I also think the S&P 500 will decline. So if the S&P is declining, then that would mean that AMC would probably go down as well, and that's just based off of this one parallel. As soon as AMC goes to around this level right here, we go all the way back to at least $36.27 as one of the retests for the support levels. Now, definitely could go much lower, especially because I think that the general market will decide to have a little bit more of a pullback within this week, right? So if we are going to have that pullback, well, AMC is already at 37, and this is a very resilient stock. It does go up, and it does go up unexpectedly, and there's a lot of times where AMC, the stock price, yes, it does fall, but there are a lot of moments where it decides to stay at one level, and it's not a coincidence, okay? This is not a coincidence. These are simply support and resistance levels, supply and demand zones. And so over here, I do believe that this will probably be, this whole box over here is probably just going to be another demand zone. And so where exactly is that demand going to come from? We are just going to have to understand the volume. And that brings me to my next point, because now we're going to be talking about the volume, and don't worry, because we most certainly will be talking about the senator who is on our side. So we have the after hours closing price of $36.95, and so the volume right here, 52% change. This is a decrease as marked by the red candlestick going to the downside, or the red arrow, and so the volume is 37.4 million. We have been increasing since yesterday about 29 cents, and this is up almost 1%. However, again, the candlesticks, this is the daily chart. We are not going to be at the 1 day, 1 minute chart. 1 day, 1 minute is much different than the 1 year, 1 day. And so this is a much better idea of what really is going on. And you see, when we have this type of chart, there really is no reason to worry. It causes less fear. Whereas if you look at the 1-day 1-minute chart for AMC, it is all over the place. And so that creates even more FUD, that creates even more fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Now, we have been saying that for quite a while. And so the group leadership, again, we're not going to talk too much about this because it has been the same as yesterday. So for those of you guys that continuously update yourselves on the due diligence, then you guys know that this ranking has been the same. So yesterday and today, they are the same. No worries. We are still above Roku, and we are still competing directly against Netflix, which is $630 a share. Absolutely phenomenal that we are even being compared to a stock like Netflix. What I will say about the volume before we talk about the Senator is that this needs to go up. We need to find some sort of volume, and I have no doubt that AMC will find this volume on one day because it has happened before. For example, when was this day? This was around September 30th of 2021. We had an insane surge in volume, and that also caused a parallel in the price, and the price followed the volume because volume does determine price. And after this week, I do believe that there will be an increase in the AMC volume, not just for AMC though, I think it will be throughout the entire market because I do believe that this bull run will continue throughout 2021. I think that we will end 2021 on a good note, and the bull run will continue, as Kathy Wood continuously mentions. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Senator Elizabeth Warren. Now if you guys made it this far in the video, let me know in the comment section below because this is where everything gets extremely interesting because in a speech, Elizabeth Warren calls out culture of corruption. Again, culture of corruption among high-ranking Federal Reserve officials, says responsibility is with Jerome Powell. Now, Washington, D.C. So today, the United States Senator Elizabeth Warren took the Senate floor to call out the culture of corruption among high-ranking Federal Reserve Fed officials. Recent reports of ethically questionable financial activity by high-ranking Fed officials, including Federal Reserve Vice Chair Richard and 2 regional Fed presidents, have raised deep concerns over conflicts of interest and have undermined public confidence in the Fed. Yesterday, Senator Warren, a champion of tighter ethic rules, called on the United States Securities and Exchange (SEC) to investigate these transactions made by the top Federal Reserve officials and determine if they may have violated insider trading rules. Again, insider trading rules. This is exactly what the whole AMC movement has been about. If we go back to the beginning of 2021, what made it so that AMC was halted? These are the questions, and so this senator is really trying to understand these rules as well. And so I know many senators, many government officials, they believe that these individuals will not do any good to AMC, and so therefore they do not want to associate themselves with them whatsoever. But again, we need to understand the paradigm of this all. We don't need to scrutinize every single little detail. We just need to understand what is being done to potentially help the AMC stock family. And so that directly leads me to my next note. As long as there is something being done, that is a step in the right direction. So Senator Warren previously introduced the Bicameral Anti-Corruption and Public Integrity Act, legislation that would prohibit all high-ranking government officials from holding or trading stock that may be influenced by their agency, department, or actions, tighten conflict of interest, and shut the revolving door between industry and government. Now, Senator Warren's remarks as prepared for delivery. Mr. President, I rise today to express concern about a culture of corruption, again, culture of corruption, among top officials at the Federal Reserve. And so officials at the Federal Reserve are entrusted to make decisions that affect the global economy and touch the lives of every person in our country. Again, these individuals that she is talking about, and includes everyone, including those that are invested in GameStop and AMC. So again, it really does affect every person in our country, and these officials have access to private information often gathered at government expense and even made by legislative mandate. There's no room for self-dealing by Fed officials. There's no room for even the appearance of self-dealing. Every member of the Federal Reserve should know that without a reminder from Congress. But evidently, there's a problem at the Federal Reserve. We simply do not know the scope of the problem or how long it has been going on. And last month, it was discovered during the economic turmoil of 2020 as the Fed was called on to take extraordinary measures to support our economy. Robert, president of the Federal Reserve's Bank of Dallas, made multiple millions of dollars plus stock trades. It was also disclosed that, in the same time, President of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston made multiple purchases and sales relating to his stakes in real estate investment trusts and other securities. Now, the general theme that the senator is highlighting talks very similarly to what ended up happening between Robinhood and Citadel. One of them had a lot more information than the average retail trader, and that is because payment of order flow. And so that really allowed them to have an upper edge in the entire market. And they allowed trading halts for stocks and equities like GameStop and AMC. Now, this senator does not directly mention AMC, but is very similar to what has been going on. So the legislation that this senator is pointing out to is going to try to eliminate a lot of that fear that some investors have right now in the market. And so we're going to end this on this statement right here, because this right here is exactly what really ended up happening with AMC and Citadel one more time. So we are further emphasizing what has been going on with this movement. Now ready, a new report last week revealed that a third key federal official also traded between 1 to 5 million out of a bond fund into stock funds, exactly one day before Federal Reserve Chairman Powell suggested possible policy action that would significantly affect bonds and stocks. Now I'm going to give a quick recap of just this one paragraph. That's how important this one paragraph is. One individual that works at the Federal Reserve, they decided to take out between 1 to 5 million from their bonds, okay? Bonds and stocks, they are different. So they decided to take that 1 to 5 $25 million out of their bonds and put that into the stock funds. And this all happens just one day before, yes, one day before Jerome Powell talked about possible policy action that would significantly affect bonds and stocks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and let me know if you guys agree with this senator. And will this help AMC? Is this a step in the right direction? I would also like to know your opinions on that. Now, with that being said, AMC stock family, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.